Okay, I won't go through every single question, but I'll go through one of every type. How about that? I'll talk about the other ones that there's some extras here, but I gave you two of each one to work on. All right, so the question for questions, and I don't have the test in front. Is it 1 through 8 or something like that? Total area, total area, total area. So 1 through 12, it's basically just find the total area of the shape. All right, 4-step procedure. Step number 1 is to identify the shape. So that is a triangular prism, not a pyramid. The sides are rectangles, not triangles. So that is a prism. So to find the total area, let's write this out. Total area, TA for total area. Total area of a prism. So TA sub P. So total area of a prism. And that is equal to, let's see, for a prism, let's see, PH, that's a perimeter times the height, plus 2 bases. Divided by 2, the PH over 2, because it's triangle. Wait, no, I had it right the first time. Sorry. Yeah, perimeter times the height. Yeah. Okay, I got it right. Confusing myself. So let's see what we got here. Perimeter. So this is usually where you mess up. We're talking about the perimeter of the base. So if I consider this to be the base, remember the triangle is the base. Well, I got two of the sides. The third side is sitting right down here, and so this side is 8. So the perimeter is, let's see, 8 plus 7 is 15 plus 5 is 20. So that would be 20 times the height. The height, remember, would be the height or the distance between the two triangles. So here's your second triangle, and the distance between them is right here. That's the distance between the two bases, and that's 12. Okay. Plus 2 of the base areas. So let's see, the base area in this case is a triangle. Erase some stuff. So the triangle there is outlined in red. The base there is an 8. So the base times height. Height is 4.3. And we're supposed to divide by 2 since it's a triangle. Lucky us, look, things are going to cancel. All right, so that cancels. Reaching for my calculator to do all of this. So let's see, 8 times 4.3 is 34.4, so that gives me a 34.4. 20 times 12, let's see, 2 times 12 is 24. So that would be what, 240? So 240. And add those two together, make sure we put in our units for our final answer. And we get, what's that, 274.4. Is that right? Yeah, 274.4. It says round to the nearest 10th, if necessary, and it was. And this would be square feet. All right, so that one wasn't too bad. I think there's 6 total shapes here. Let's check our answer, 274.4 square feet. That is correct. All right, 1 down, 5 to go. Now I'm going to give you 2 of these triangular prisms to work on. All right, the next kind, we got a pyramid. And we're even lucky because it's a square pyramid. Look at the bottom there, it's a square, 7 and 7. All right, so what's the total area? Just be careful not to mix up volume and total area. So looking at my book of truth, total area of a pyramid is TA. I shouldn't have erased the word TA. And I guess I can't use P because P could either mean prism or pyramid. So I'll put PY, pyramid. And that is going to be equal. I'm looking at my book of truth. It's P L over 2 plus capital B. All right. So P is your perimeter of your base. So the base is on the bottom here. I should be doing that in blue. So 7 times 4 is 28. So that's the perimeter. The slant height is, well, it's listed there as 9.7. And supposed to divide that by 2. Okay. And the base area, well, that's easy. It's a square, so it's going to be 7 times 7, 49. All right, let's see, before I grab my calculator, that's gonna be a 14, so it's basically 14 times 9.7, and that gives me 135.8. And then I simply need to add 49 to that. 135, what did I say, 0.8? Yeah, 0.8 plus 49 for a grand total of 184.8. I'm writing backwards here. 184.8. What are the units? It's in miles, so square miles. MI to the second power. Okay, check our answers. 184.8 square miles. There we go. Once again, you'll get tired of this. I'm going to do one of each kind. Well, technically I've done a prism, but I haven't done a rectangular prism. All right, easiest one, rectangular prism. TA, I erased TA again. TA of a pure prism, that's a rectangle piece of R. Okay, is, well, it's still pH plus 2b, right? So pH perimeter times the height plus 2 of the base areas. So the only thing you have to decide is which side you want to be the base, really. Because that's going to dictate the perimeter and the base area. So let's see. I'm going to choose the one with the most numbers on it. I'm going to choose the top. I'm going to choose this one right here to be the base. Got 2 of the numbers. I could have chosen some other ones. So let's see. So the perimeter, remember that it's really a rectangle, so opposite sides are congruent. 4 plus 4 is 8. 12 plus 12 is 24. So 24 plus 8 is 32. So the perimeter would be 32. Remember, the height is the distance. Oh, my eyeball just flipped around on me. Is the distance between those two rectangles, and that's 5. So 32 times 5. Now, the rectangle that I just drew, doesn't matter, you can use either one, they're the same. The rectangle that I just drew is what you're going to use for your base area. So let's see, what's my base area? My base is a rectangle, so it's 4 times 12, which is 48, but I need 2 of them. 2 times 48 is 96. I'll say that again. So I need one base area. That would be 4 times 12, 48, but I got 2 of them. There's one here, right here as well, too. So double 48 is 96. So let's see, 32 times 5, that's easy enough to do. That's 160 plus 96 to, I'm trying to do math and write at the same time, to a 256. And the units are inches, so square inches, 256 square inches. All right, check our answer. There we go. Should be a pretty straightforward test, as long as you, and I say it many times, just think about, it's a 4-step procedure. So identify the shape, write down the right formula, plug in the right numbers, and then just grab your calculator and go to town on it. All right, we need a new shape. We need a new shape. Have we done cone? I don't think so. All right. TA, I erased the word TA again. TA of a C, of a cone. This is the one that nobody remembers. That's the pi RL. L is the slant height. R is the radius, so pi RL plus the base area. And it's a circle, so it's going to be plus pi r squared. Does it say leave in terms of pi? It doesn't. It says to actually use to round in the nearest tenth. So this is not a big deal with the calculator. And look, we got everything we need. This is the slant height. Remember, that's the distance along the edge from the base to the vertex. And we got a radius of 6. So I'm going to choose to do it this way. I'm going to choose to use the calculator at the very end. The radius is 6, and the slant height is 13.4. And let's just pretend we don't have a calculator for a second, plus pi times the radius squared. Radius squared is what, 36? All right, so I got 36 pi plus whatever that is. So all I'm going to do, either by hand, if I didn't have the calculator, is 6 times 13.4, and that gives me 80.4. So that would give me 80.4 pi. I'll show you why I'm doing it here this way in a second. I could have typed the whole thing into my calculator. plus 36 pi. And the reason why I do it this way is because just imagine if your calculator broke or you didn't have your calculator and you wanted to know the easiest way to do it. Leave pi to the very end. So 80.4 plus 36 is 116.4. Now, I believe this program uses the pi key instead of 3.14. I don't care which one you use, but you're going to see that I'm going to get an answer that's slightly off because I'm only using 3.14. So if I multiply 116.4 times 3.14, I get 365. I'm going to round to the nearest tenth. 365 my calculator says 0.496, so 0.5. Now we might be a tenth off. We'll see here in a second. What's it? Meters? So square meters. Okay. So we check our answer. Notice 365.68. So we're a tenth off. And that's because they don't use 3.14 in this program. They use the 3.14, 15926, so forth and so on. So it's going to always be slightly larger than what you get. But 365.5, perfectly fine answer. Just remember that when you're doing the practice tests and you get like the number I just got right there. If you want to just use the pi key on your calculator, then you will get every single answer on the practice test that's listed. All right, let's see if I can remember not to erase TA. Yay, I finally did it. Maybe this is more work than it is just to erase the whole darn thing and then write TA. I think that is probably true. Okay, what's left? Have we done all 6 shapes? Did we do a cylinder? No, we didn't. All right. So total area of a cylinder, that's the 2 pi r8. This is kind of the longest one. So that's the 2 pi rh plus 2 pi r squared, because remember there's 2 bases and they're both circles, 2 pi r squared. This one's going to be done just like the cone, where we're going to hold off on using pi until the very end. I just need the radius and the height, and look, I got the radius and the height. I did those backwards, but you get the meaning. All right, so 2 times the radius is 10. The height is 8, and I certainly could have done this a little bit quicker, times pi, just by doing some of that in my head because the numbers are easy, plus 2 times pi, and the radius is 10, so times 100, because that would be the radius squared. Okay. Let's see, 10 times 8 is 80, times 2 is 160, so I get 160 pi, plus what, 200 pi? I know my handwriting's atrocious here, 200 pi. And then what, I got to add those two, so that gives me 360 pi. 360 pi. And I'm going to use 3.14 for pi. And I'm getting approximately 1,130.4, 1,130.4, and this is in square inches. Inches squared. Once again, if you use the pi key on your calculator, you'll get exactly what is going to be listed here in a second. But I got darn pretty close. I'm what, 5/10 off. That's literally the difference between using the pi key and 3.14. As the numbers get very large, then that how far off you're going to be from the real answer. Keep that in the back of your mind. Don't get frustrated if you're like, I'm not getting the right answer. I think we got sphere left. That's it. All right, so let's see. Total area of a sphere. This is the easier of the two formulas. It's just 4 times pi r squared. Let's see if we can do this in our head. The radius is 4. If we square, that's 16. 16 times 4 is 64. So that's 64 pi's. That's a math joke. So let's see. 64 times 3.14 is 200.96. So if I were rounding this to the nearest tenth and it was 200.96, I would actually get 201.0, and that's in square centimeters. Now they should have a number that's slightly bigger than that for their answer because they used the pi key, and they got 201.06. Okay, those are all 6 of your shapes. So how can I mess with you? Well, for this one, instead of giving you a radius, I can give you a diameter. And I can repeat that same trick there for a cylinder. as well as, we'll just keep going through here. No tricks there, no tricks there. There we go. I gave you a cone with a diameter, so cut that 6.5. The radius is 3. Same thing with a cylinder. Cut that radius, or cut that diameter 24.5, so the radius is 12. Cut that sphere's diameter in half, so that would be what, 5.9? Yeah, there we go. All right, on to volume 13. These are pretty quick. The volume formulas are always seemingly easier than the surface area. So we'll do a couple of these. You may remember way back from 5th or 6th grade that if it's a rectangular prism, it's length times width times height. Technically, the formula for volume is capital BH, where B is the base area and H is the height. Pick a base. I'll pick this side as the base. The base is 8 times 6 is 48. So that would be 48 times the height, and the height is 7. So it's 48 times 7, and I'm getting 336. And that would be what? Feet, not squared, because that would be area. We're doing volume, so that would be cubic feet. So 336 cubic feet. There we go. All right, I said 6 of these real quick. Pyramids. If you remember the pyramid formula, you know, it took 3 of these and it made a cube. And the formula for volume of a cube is capital BH. Literally the formula we just did. We just need to take that and divide it by 3. Luckily for us, it's another, look, it's a square pyramid. So the base is a square. 3 times 3 is 9. The height is 7. And then we're supposed to divide this by 3. We don't need a calculator for this. 9 divided by 3 is 3, and 3 times 7 is 21 cubic centimeters. Yay for us. That was easy. Sometimes when the numbers are easy, it's very easy. Okay. Moving right along. Triangular prism, done exactly the same way as a rectangular, except the base is a triangle, base times height. Notice on this one too, there's no dotted line for the height of the triangle. That's because it's a right triangle. So either use 4 as your base or use 3 as your base, and the height would be the other number. For instance, if the base is 3, the height is 4, or if the base is 4, the height is 3. That's not always the case on triangular prisms, because that's only true when you have a right triangle. The previous one we did on question number, I think it was 1 that we did. It was a regular triangle prism without being a right triangle. Okay, cone formula for cone. Remember that video? The guy filled a cylinder with 3 cones. So it's the volume of a cylinder, which is pi r squared h. Let's see if the numbers are easy. And then divide by 3. Are the numbers nice? Yeah, look, 3 and 10. Let's see if we can do that in our head. A radius squared would be 9. 3 squared is 9. The height is 10. 9 times 10 is 90. And 90 divided by 3 is 30. So we get 30 cubic centimeters for the win. Will all the answers be this easy? Well, it might be. We made a mistake here. What mistake did we make? Pi r squared h. I didn't make a mistake here. Pi r squared. Oh, we didn't multiply by pi. Duh. So we need to take 30 and multiply that by 3.14. So 30 times 3.14. I made an honest to God mistake there. And there's your 94.2. Sorry about that. I got it written in the formula, really big letter right there, and I left it off. So 94.2. Now, why did they get 94.25? Once again, because they are using a lot more digits of pi than what we're using. All right. Attention to detail, easy to make mistakes. All right, sphere, this is that ugly formula. Well, it's not too bad. Volume of a sphere is 4/3, not pi r squared, but pi r cubed. All right, let's see if I can do this without screwing this one up. Oh, no, the radius is 12 cubed. So I know 12 squared is 144. So 144 times another 12 is 1,728. Times 4 is 6,912 divided by 3 is 2,304. And I won't forget it this time. That's what I got to multiply by pi. So I'll do that one more time. Let's see. 12 cubed would be 12 times 12 times 12, or 12 to the third power. That's 1728. That's my radius cube. Times the 4, that's 6,912. And then lastly, divided by 3, and that's 2,304 times pi. So times 3.14. And I get as a final answer, 7,234. And it says round to the nearest 10th, 0.6. Now, once again, they're going to be slightly higher than that because they're using a larger value of pi. And then remember that units are cubed. All right, back on track. Yes, sir. Notice when the numbers are really big, I'm not off a tenth. I'm off by a good number. I'm off by a little bit under 4. Yeah, because they got 28.23 and I got 34. I'm sorry, they got 38.23 and I got 34.6. So a little bit less than 4. And then that's fine. And like I said, if you want to, get exactly the number they're getting, then use the pi key on your calculator. All right. Have I done them all? Did I do a cylinder pi r squared h? Pi r squared h, is that the one that I forgot, or is that the cone? I forget. All right, pi r, volume of a cylinder is pi r squared h. Pi r squared h. Radius is 5. 5 squared is 25. 25 times 4 is 100. And 100 times 3.14 is 314. Yeah, I can do that one in my head. And that would be in cubic meters. So 314 cubic meters. Now they're going to round to 3.1415, 926. So that's why they get 314.16. Hopefully I've made that clear. I'm going to stop saying that. All right, I believe that was it. So once again, how can I make it a little bit trickier? Well, I can give you a diameter for a cone instead of the radius. Same thing for a cylinder, same thing with a sphere. There's only one thing left, and that was the scale, literally the last section that we did, and that was those scale factor. And let's see, what did we learn when we did those scale factor? Well, we learned that if you have two similar solids, right, and you are given the scale factor, then you can calculate the ratio of their areas. So area 1 over area 2 will be equal to the scale factors of the SF for scale factor of the first one squared over the scale factor of the second one squared. Remember doing this? And then lastly, if we want to do volume of the first one, or the ratio of the volume of the first one over the volume of the second one, that will be equal to the scale factor of the first one cubed over the scale factor of the second one cubed. Okay. And these are quickly done once you realize this. So we've got 9 over 10. That's our scale factor. So if we want to do a ratio of their areas, so small to big, 9 smaller than 10. So we simply square 9, that's 81, and we square 10, which is 100. So the final answer for the, what are we asking us to do? Ratio of lateral area, anything with an area, right, is 81 over 100. And lastly, for volume, we just cube those numbers. Ooh, I need a calculator for that. Let's see, 9 cubed, so 9 times 9 times 9 is 729. All I'm doing is taking the scale factor and cubing it, and then taking the 10 and cubing. 10 times 10 is 100, times another 10 is 1,000. And so these should be, we'll see here in a second, should be my two answers. All right, let's check our answer key. 81 over 100, yep, and 729 over 1,000. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the entire test. Now, I did give you some more practice problems there than just this. On the test, I'm not going to give you, what, I give you 26 questions here? Yeah. I will give you, oh gosh, I'll probably give you 8 for each one. So 8, 16, and maybe one of these. So maybe 17 total questions. Should be pretty straightforward. If you run into any problems on the test, make sure you ask me for help on that before you ask for the test. But after you study this and you're ready, ask me for the test and you'll be good to go. You should get an easy A on this test.